Hey.
Hi everyone, my name is Occy, and today I'm going to show you how to do the Sombra Safe-Cloaking tech. So what is this tech? Basically, it's a way to optimize your ability to cloak in and out of combat. Now, if we're going to take a look at Sombra's cloak, it's pretty simple. 6-second duration, 6-second cooldown, and it makes you run faster and it turns you invisible. During the cloak time, you can't take any aggressive actions, so hacking or attempting to fire your gun will cancel the cloak prematurely. While you're in the cloak, you can throw out your teleporter beacon, and if you're cloaked, you can also reload, in addition, of course, to moving around and jumping like normal.
Been here all along.
So, the problem with the cloak is that when you're cloaked, if you take any amount of damage, you will be knocked out of the cloak. And there's a brief period at the beginning and the end of the cloak where it counts as you being cloaked, but you don't actually have the invisibility and speed bonus effects yet. So that means you can't shoot your weapon or hack anybody, and you're also not invisible and not fast, but if you take damage during that period, the effect will end without having actually begun in the first place. So you notice when I activate it, you see your arm swipe across, and then the invisibility bar pops up. That's basically the period I'm talking about. And then at the end there, you can see it goes from like fully invisible to stuttering into visibility. So if I hold down, I can't shoot right away. I'll actually show you here. If I hold down the fire button now, that's the delay. So it's pretty big delay. It's about a 1 second delay, and it's there to prevent you from being able to just straight up pop out of invisibility and headshot somebody to death. However, there is a way to mitigate this slightly. And basically the way you want to do this is you throw out your teleporter beacon, cloak, and then as you're going through that 1 second cloaking period, you teleport to your beacon. So it looks like this. It's already out here. I cloak and teleport, and I'm in. Now, basically what's happening here is your beacon, whenever you teleport to your beacon, you get iframes, that's invincibility frames, which is where you cannot be hurt. So, during that little animation where I am teleporting to it, I cannot be hurt at all. And this is actually incredibly useful, because if you have the beacon down, even if you're standing right on top of it, you can negate damage that comes in. So like if there was a diva ult right there, and it was about to explode, if I time it right and teleport just as it goes off, I won't take any damage from the ult, in spite of being in its line of sight, technically. So basically what we're doing here is we're taking those iframes from teleporting to the beacon and overlaying them over that initial cloaking period where we're incredibly vulnerable. Because that cloaking period really sucks, because you can't do anything, and if you take damage, it ends the cloaking effect, but you don't get the benefits of the cloak, which is the invisibility and the speed. So once again, basically just have your beacon out, initiate the cloak, and teleport. And this is not actually animation canceling, guys. This is really just animation optimization. It basically operates on the same principle as blinking while reloading with Tracer. If you don't know, if you're Tracer and you're shooting at someone and you gotta reload, the idea is to blink during your reload, because you can't do anything, but you can blink. So you just overlay the iframes of the blink over your reload. So, I mean, like, basically, you could even do the same thing with Sombra if you really, really wanted to. Although, obviously, you can't reload during a teleport for her, so it's not as effective. But we do have the cloak ability. You can also use this to come out of the cloak, right? So I throw it out, I initiate my decloak and teleport, and boom, I'm right in there. Like, for example, if this guy here is somebody I want to fight, and maybe he's like shooting my team down here, I'm invisible, I want to decloak and gank him, so I just throw this down, initiate the decloak, and I'm right up in his face. Now this isn't foolproof. Like, basically, if I try and execute it, and someone was watching me, like let's say they're just standing up there and they saw me do it, they would see me teleport, and they would see me very briefly come out at the end of the teleport, depending on your timing. But other than that, like, once the speed kicks in, you're going to be very hard to catch, unless they get really lucky with their sprays and spraying around and they accidentally catch you. So you can use this in combat. Once again, if this is a guy I'm fighting, I'm here, I want to get out of combat. Ordinarily, if I tried to cloak out of combat, it wouldn't work, because like obviously he'll just be able to shoot me while I'm still visible in that initial cloaking period. And so in order to cloak away from combat effectively, I would have to break line of sight first and then cloak to make my getaway. But if you don't have the cover, or if you don't have the time to get to cover because you're low in health, you can just throw it out, boom, 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 and you're out of there.
Been here all along.
And even if he's expecting it, like watch just how fast you can get away and break line of sight. So even if I'm fighting him here, I throw it over, he's gonna know my beacon is going to be over there when I throw it over, right? But he still has to fight me.
See you later.
And then if I do teleport, he has that time that he has to try and turn
¿Qué
around.
onda?
And this can also be useful if you're trying to drop your ult, I guess. If you want to drop it aggressively. So if everyone's down in there and I have my ult, I want to come in from Cloak because maybe there's a turret or something. A Torb turret that's been ulted, and I don't want to get bursted down before I can actually get in there and drop my ult. I'm in Cloak. I throw it out, decloak, teleport, boom. And I actually messed that up. You can actually do that even faster if you get the timing down right, because I didn't do the timing right there. But that's basically the idea behind it. You always, whatever sequence you're doing, whether you're cloaking or decloaking, initiate the cloak and then teleport straight to your teleporter. And honestly, the only downside to this is that you are burning both of your cooldowns, which is a pretty big downside, noted. Like, again, for an example earlier, from fighting the dude here, I'm low on health. Boom, ba-da-da. I come over here, and then I bump into, like, their Winston come out of the spawn. I'm dead now, because I don't have any escapes at all. Maybe I could come over here and grab the health pack or something. But, that being said, you're very vulnerable afterwards, so you do have to make sure this goes off without a hitch, and you don't get damaged out of Cloak. And again, if you're using it aggressively, that's even more of a risk, because you don't have any way to get out, so you better be sure you're able to follow up and wipe everyone. But yeah, that's basically how you do the Sombra Safe-Cloaking tech. So go ahead and practice it. It's pretty easy to use. It's very awesome, and it'll definitely serve you well in a fight. So I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Thanks.